Welcome to 5 Minutes Unfiltered, every Friday, giving you a few minutes of inspiration for your business and things to think about. So with this one, we are officially starting the new year. I talked about in the newsletter how I took 10 days offline basically, and that felt amazing, but it also meant I wasn't updating this kind of stuff. So we are officially back. And the theme that is one that definitely makes sense right now as we go into a new year, reinvention, maybe some inspiration, things you're sitting on. The biggest thing that I did, because it wasn't a lot of work given the last 10 days, was finally getting my inbox down to 0. Now, I want to talk about this to inspire you, even though it sounds like the most basic, boring thing. And you've probably heard many people talk about how they have thousands of emails. Well, I believe it was 16,000 unread emails just a few days ago. And it was something that I've had for years. The oldest email in there, I think, is from 2007. To give you an idea of how old these things were. And I always thought of myself as the person who that was me. I was the creative person. I couldn't be bothered with the details. I couldn't sit down. I didn't have a system for this. It was just going to be how it was going to be. And I never could deal with the overwhelm and the anxiety of trying to go through all of that stuff. Now, here's where I think it's interesting, because as we go into the new year, and me being in the personal development space before being an entrepreneur, the thing that I know as well is that everything you think about yourself can be changed. And this 0 inbox thing was something I just never thought I would be able to do. And at the same time I thought that, I wanted to change, because I'm one of those people who I would feel anxiety every time I saw that number go up. Every day, 20 to 30 more emails. I dreaded opening my email. It wasn't something that I like to do. And so it didn't feel good. It wasn't a nice part of my day, as it isn't for many of you, I'm sure. And so when I finally sat down to do this, 2 things happened. One was I had the intention. This is clear for any type of change in identity you want. I had the intention. I said, no, I'm going to actually do this differently now. I'm going to change my behavior today. I'm going to do this now. And the second thing, which I think is a really big missing step that we often overlook or we don't account for, that's so important, is the technology or the way, the method finally exists to do it easily. So now, if you have an iPhone, if you didn't know this, you'll know it now. For email that is not in your primary inbox, it's a promotional one, it's an update one, when you delete it, you have the option to delete all of the ones that were ever sent. So we're talking about, I had some senders that had 200 emails they sent to me over time, all unread, all gone, all deleted. And it was like playing a game. It was like being on a high as I saw that number go down from 16,000 something to finally 0. I think it took me 2.5 hours. I didn't do it in one go. It was over time, over a couple days. And that felt so good to just see that it's not there. But it was only because the method existed to make it less time consuming for me. If I still had to go one by one, those things would still be there. So when you're thinking about what is your goal for this year, the identity you want to change, think about first, what is your intention? Do you have a strong enough one for it? And 2, is there a technology, an approach, a person that can really make that easy for you? Because if you have those 2 things, you can do almost anything in your business and also for changing your life. It is honestly me saying to you, as someone who since 2006, 2007 never had inbox 0, does now. And then the last thing I'm going to add about this is because I noticed that after I got to inbox 0, I didn't like seeing the numbers go back up, because they do every day, right? So I also turned off the badge that tells me how many emails there are, to take away that anxiety, that pressure to keep it at 0. So I have my times I go in, I delete, but I am no longer externally having to keep on looking and trying and controlling. And I think that's another important thing when you think about your goals for this year, when you think about your ambitions for your business. Try to let go, in some ways, whatever possible, of all the control you need to have around it. Try to make it more on your timeline and try to make it as doable as possible. Thank you for listening. Share with anyone you know who needs the inspiration. Let me know too on Instagram, Shardy Royale, if you are also at Inbox Zero or you want to do it one day. And I will see you in the next one.